Alrighty, Doc. Oh, that's the wrong line. Alrighty, Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It's Tuesday. Let's see, what do we got going on here? There's Metho. Hey, Metho. And let's skip that ad there. There we are. There we are. Excellent. I can hear myself and I can see Metho, so we are 5 by 5, as they used to say. All right, let's get into it. There is, and that's gas. We want to go to the dollar index. Let's check it out this morning, see how the dollar index is going. Unless someone wants to see gas, but we'll go to the dollar index first, and you can shout it out. See here, a little bounce going on the dollar. I guess, profit taking. I know we did go into a daily buy. You can see it. Oh, actually, now we have a red and a green. So we didn't make it into the daily buy yesterday. Basically, we're there now. We're in the daily buy. There's no doubt. It's above the zero line here. What is that thing? Let's get rid of that. Remove. And you can see here on the weekly right there, we're still in a weekly sell for, just going on the 6th week. That pressure's on. You look over at J4X, you can see the same situation on the weekly basis. The dollar has been dropping. Hooray. It should drop. Look at it. Look at it. It's like a mountain. Look how far up it has gone. It's crazy. I mean, took out that high and just launched itself like a rocket. I mean, really, look at that. Ugh. Just like a moonshot. We should be down in here in, like the 90s or the 80s or something like that. This is crazy. This thing got up to like 114 and change. Just a monster move. It's just way over. It's like we're the only game in town. Can't you buy something else? Isn't there any other country that can basically put two, coins together and satisfy some part of the planet? What is up with that? And there's no doubt. I'm a cheerleader for the euro. I'm always hoping that the European Union becomes more productive. We all, as traders, we always hoped that the European Union would become the United States of Europe. Not a colony of ours like China, but like, independently strong, and it has the ability, but they've kind of gotten swallowed up by bureaucrats, unfortunately. But that's the way it goes, I guess. And maybe over time they will, clean that mess up. But we've always hoped, as traders and Wall Street, we always hoped there could be a decent competitor of the dollar. So it always makes me laugh, or it makes me cringe, I guess you could say, more than anything else. I go, ugh. When they say, oh, they're going to replace the dollar with like the yuan. It's like it trades 2.5% a day. It's a communist nation. It's a colony of the United States at the same time. It has no ability whatsoever, none, to be able to replace the euro or the dollar or the British pound or any of these others. It doesn't even float, and I always go through that. So when I look at that mountain right there on J4X again of this move, it's just ridiculous. It just shows the ineptness of the rest of the planet. That's what it really does. It's not that the dollar is great. It's not that like it's the best thing in the world, but the problem is there's nothing else out there. We're stuck. We are the only game in town. Matter of fact, I follow good statistics, information, and they were talking about M2 money supply here in the States, and they say, well, it's inaccurate now because the world uses our currency so heavily that we can't even follow the stat in it anymore. We used to follow M1, money supply, the prime money supply of like how much money is in savings accounts and parked and checking and so forth, all those mechanical things, Janos! Oh, I got a question for... Oh, and Christian! Hello! I got a question for you, Janos. When I crank up J4X, it says it has a new copy, a new a modified version. So I want to do that when you're around, in case I blow it up. In other words, it starts demanding for another, password or something like that. Kristen, how you doing? I don't remember if it's... Oh, am I on... Which one am I on? Can you tell if I make this large, which one it is? Is there a spot where it says it like support chat or create live trading or just click update, etc.? Where's update? Is that underneath file? Account? Reports? News? Services? There is Visual J4X. Was it that? Let's see. Green Planet, how you doing? So quiet again. Make Mike. Oh, you're not hearing the sound. How's that? Is that a little bit better? I'll try to get it near my ear, closer. How's that? Anybody else having the problem hearing me? Don't do it now. Yeah, that's what I figure. Skip it. Also, that's what I figure. And then I can go through it with you somewhere later on. That's what I was thinking. It'll update during the next startup and then allow the update. Oh, okay. All right. I'll take care of that. All right. Planet, can you hear me now? Testing 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Boom, boom. You need to crank out the horn, you know. I'm on 30% volume on PC with Max on YouTube. It is too loud for me. Okay, Green Planet, follow Yados. He said, he says he's got this thing kicking at 30%, and it's too loud. So, it may be one of those things where you got to start and restart thing. You know, it's like that classic. You know, so. But yeah, I guess I can go back to the trading point of view, and that is, look at that mountain. It's just crazy, just a blast. Mono. Am I communicating mono through this headphone set? His mic sends the sound only in the left side. Okay. I see. Is there a button I can push to make it double? Huh. Maybe that's another setting I need to go through with you along the line. Could be that the green settings mute the left stereo head setting. Okay, that makes sense too. You got that, Green Planet? Yeah, at least the chat line can be seen through the what do you call that? When the webinar is over with, you can go back and scan it. Oh, I guess you can slide it up and down too and look at it. Doc, we have no idea how it occurred. We checked the setting. Could it be? Okay. Interesting. All right. Well, maybe could it be my headphone set itself? Could it be that? Or this particular computer? Could it be from my end? Look at the S&P 500. Oh, sure. Let's check it out. Let's get it up on. There it is, right there. They slipped into a daily sell yesterday, and it's kind of up just a little bit today. Not bad, 10 points. You know, you can see here we hit that. The weekly's looking awful firm here still. I keep on waiting for the little echo, the blue dashed line to break underneath and then come back up or do something. You know, I'm looking for some type of action. I think. I heard that this week is a very busy week. You know, there's a lot of talk about the idea that, there's going to be information, you know, all kinds of economic information coming out. And then at the end of the week, it's December, and they're having the employment number. So that's got people eyeballing that. And then, what's the other thing? Oh, and then I guess around the 13th or 14th, Powell speaks. I think that the Fed starts to yak again, or has a news conference or something. And then I guess at the end of the month he raises rates again. So it's like there's a lot of action coming on along here. After 45 years, maybe time for another mic. I agree. All right, I will work on that. I have the blue ball. I think it's around here somewhere. And we were using that for a long while. Remember that? The blue ball. And that worked out really well. So what I'll do is I'll look to get another microphone and something we can plug in and out and see if that straightens things out a little bit better. How's that sound? I'll try that tonight. I have the blue ball. And I'll try playing around with that. What else do I have here? I have a couple different things. I have a couple different nice, expensive microphones on some level. You know what? Let me try something. Hold Hold 1 second. I got this microphone that can just be plugged in. I'm not sure if I unplug this, does it freak it out or does it work? I don't know. But I could do that too. I could take a shot at that if you're interested. If everybody feels like I need to work on the microphone, I got two of these little microphones, and it's like like when you're standing on a stage, and you can talk into it. Do you want me to try that? I can try that if you want, and we can see if it's this headphone set. Hell, this headphone set has a switch. The switch might be just doing it. Let's see. Is there a switch to this? There's that. That's no. I guess it's for the headphone set itself. See if this works. Does anybody hear me more or less? Let me put my headphone set on the other machine and see if I hear the same thing going on. Hold on a second there. Let me try that. You hear me well from Spain. I like that. Okay. Let me see if I do this. No, it doesn't. It doesn't have any effect. I hear that. Okay. Yeah. That's not having any effect. Not from my headphone set. Well, I am glad I reached all the way to Spain. That's good. This is a good thing. Let's see. All right, and my own headphone set here. It's. I think it spills out in both. Let me see. Do I hear it on the other one? No. You're right. The other headphone set doesn't. There's no sound. Okay, so the other side of that headphone set, I don't hear me. All right. I think mono may be the issue. Yeah, I think so too. I think Green Planet, you have identified an issue that we should address. Good job. Thank you. We'll go after that. We'll see what I can do about that. Where are we at? Oh yeah, there's the S&P 500. So yeah, I'm a little surprised. Let's make it bigger there. That the little dashed line hasn't broken down. It tells me that the selling is not real. Look at this flatness right here with the S&P 500. It's they took it down yesterday and they're bouncing a little bit today and I guess we got at the end of the week we've got the employment gig going on and all that stuff. But I would say more than anything else is that it says to me that the that overall it still wants to climb. It has that runnerish look. I used to refer to it as a runnerish look. It wants to run. You can see when we tighten it up on here, you can see that it has no interest whatsoever, and it seems to be locked in this area right across there. It does seem to be locked in it. I don't know if they're going to go after that as lows. There are some of the floor traders that are my age are convinced that it's done. In other words, I don't, the what do you call it? The institutions are just so underinvested now that they can't afford not to buy. They have to buy because they're going to have to answer to their stock, to people, not stock, but their investors. If they don't have enough, like someone was saying this morning, the market is only off 15%. With all the calamity that's going on, the market overall, when you look at the S&P 500, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, and then the Tech 100, the three of the major indices, overall, cumulatively, it's only off 15%. Now, obviously, as I sip my tea, obviously there's the Tech 100 has taken the most hit because of the cash and interest sensitiveness of it, whereas the Dow Jones Industrial Average is the classic strong. Yo, Robin, the what do you call it? The Dow Jones Industrial Average is a lot of dividends, a lot of established old companies. They are very deep in capital, so they can afford not to have to borrow as much. But the tech industry, which is the pillar of the modern commerce. You've got Apple, and you've got Apple Computer. You have Google, Meta / Facebook. You've got Cisco Systems, Intel, Microsoft. These are all in that Tech 100, and so and there's more of them besides that. Twitter Twitter's out of there now, I guess. And then was it you go all the way over to like the electric cars, like Elon Musk is in there, Tesla, So it's very tech heavy. That's what it's all about. That's why they call it the Tech 100. And it also has medical tech in there too. So in like Amgen and so forth, and a few of the other major biotechs. So they're all very interest sensitive. They feel it, So all right. From there, we're going to jump back over to the currencies. Let's see what's going on in the currencies again. And let's get the euro up on there, because the euro's popped into a daily sell there yesterday. I was a little surprised about that action. Right there. There's the euro. And you can see there the euro is slid into the, let's see, where is this? That's the weekly. So you can see there it's matching it. We got the strength there. There's the strength there, and you can see the strength there. There's the euro. It's at the top end of its range, as you can see there. And then on the daily side of it, let's slide on the daily. There's the daily. You see there, it's trying to generate a red now as we speak. And you can see over here, let's do this. Let's go like that so you can see it better. So you can see there we went into the sell yesterday. It's feeling that pressure. But again, this is doing the same thing as the S&P 500. Yeah, it's dancing and twisting, but it's not really breaking down anywhere in particular. It's holding up. Let's move that down to there. There's the zero line there. So, I'm not too convinced. I think the dollar is going to come down more and more, because I think interest rates they've kind of finited it. They've come up with they said, okay, this is where the interest rates are going to probably stop in the 4.75, 5 area, and you can see the bonds reflect it, and so that is giving the equity markets strength. That's why we're seeing strength, is they knew they were going to telegraph this, and they let their friends and family know it beforehand, and in the institutions, all the politicos who want their money for campaigns and so forth, they let those insiders know also at the same time, and here we are. It's firm and it's higher, and think about the low there. We've seen what, 3,600 was it on the S&P 500 maybe? Let me just take a quick look. Let's just shrink it down again. Yeah, see that low was 3,680. No, 3,502. That's what it was, 3,502, and we've gotten back up over to the 4,000 area, and now we're just a little bit underneath it. So that is really the strength of it all. And there's your euro situation. See the euro also, that daily sell just like the S&P yesterday, and the weekly holding up nice and firm. I don't really see a lot of weakness, because I think the trend is established at this point. I think the trend really is that you're going to see money. You're going to see money. See, what's up with this microphone? There it is. You're going to see money. There we go. That might be better for some that are looking for better sound. You're going to see the money move in that direction. So underinvested funds and interest rates now kind of defined at where they're going to stop puts strength into the market, in the equity market overall. Let's see. Now what's that? Huh. Just hearing this thing about bankruptcy for something. BlockFi? What is BlockFi? Oh, blaming FTX. Okay, it's part of the FTX fiasco. Okay. All right. There was a headline up on the tape here about BlockFi blaming FTX for bankruptcy. Okay, now it makes sense. All right, from there we go over to the cable. And there's the cable. Same situation. Yesterday it slid into the daily sell, but the weekly, it's not really feeling the same pain. Just a little pressure. Profit taking, that type of thing, and that's usually the way it works. You can see it here. Now on J4X, you can see 2 days, so it's good. It's matching up perfectly. And you can see the green line is through the dashed line there, so it's breaking down. And Wave Financial co-founder. it's so hard to talk about the what do you call it, the cryptos, because the governments, they're again, cryptos are a counter to the central banks and the government. And they're going to do everything they can to sabotage them in the end. That's all they're really doing. It's amazing that we have two decent ones that we can play with, the Bitcoin and the Ethereum, and they're listed and there's options on them and you can trade them. And it's like, it's amazing that we have that much. And then Coinbase is an exchange also, and they didn't pull the FTX thing, where they were just abusing everything. So I guess we'll see. That there was serious talk. He has contributed so much money to the Democrats who are in power right now that there's a good chance he'll never go to jail. Just like the way John Corzine, who was governor of New Jersey and former from Goldman Sachs, another major Democrat, who didn't go to jail, and he basically took public money and he spent it and burned it up and didn't go to jail. So there's a good chance this guy from FTX won't go to jail, because that's the way the system is right now. Unfortunately, law is not used equally. It's there's favoritism, too much crony capitalism thing going on. Alrighty, from there we go over to the Swiss. There's the Swiss. If anybody wants to look at a crypto, we can look at cryptos too. There's no problem. We can get Bitcoin up on the machine here. You can see here, there's the Swiss, a second day in a buy, showing some good life there. Again, to me, I think it's just profit taking. In other words, after you have a move like this on the the Swiss coming down from those big highs, we're starting to get back into the norm, and they're starting to, I guess the Credit Suisse disaster is kind of past, so they're not feeling that pain anymore. And that was probably the real freak out going on. That Credit Suisse situation in Switzerland was really starting to put pressure on the currency. And we do know that big money has left Credit Suisse, and they probably just diversified. In other words, they probably left Switzerland altogether. And that's why we saw the currency move the way it did. And now that money has left, you can see it's adjusting itself. And that's usually the way it works too. People don't understand in trading. What happens is that when money tries to move dramatically in one direction, trust me, traders who are on the other side of it are going to step back and try to get the best price they can. It's not a charity, it's trading. And so it's something to always remember, traders and listeners out there, is that the markets move that way, and then it's done and over with. And we see that when we go from after the Swiss to the yen, and to the yen to the euro, the Turkish lira. You can see those spikes that occurs because money is moving out, getting away. And they're not going to, the central bank of Turkey is not going to just give money away. They're going to allow crazy spikes to occur, because it's like, that as far as they're concerned, they'll let them sell in the hole and then be punished financially for it. And then not the central bank, but the investor itself. And that's pretty much what's going on there. And that is the name of the game there. Okay, let's jump over to... We go over to the yen. Let's see what the yen's up to this morning. And again, the yen looks so much now like the chart, like this Swiss chart. They look a lot alike. So they were both going through the same situation. Same situation with the big drop, the whole bit. You can see, now that did not flip. It tried. It got very close. You can see right there, it's minus 0.02. It was just 0.01. Very close to trying to get into a buy, but not doing too good a job at it. You can see there's the weekly. It's been underneath for about 4 weeks now, just cruising. 5 weeks now, right there. I think. No, wait a minute. Let's move that down again. There we are. So it's 4 weeks, right there. So the pressure has been on. They've been running away from the yen. and they ran away from the Swiss, and now they're probably going to calm it down. Whatever issues have occurred, obviously the Federal Reserve, our central bank, has resolved them. We saw where they did the swaps, as I mention every so often here, to Switzerland over the last 5-6 weeks, and they probably did the same thing to. I heard they were doing something, but they didn't reflect what it was, and so I mean that's pretty much the process that goes on. That's part of the job of being the world reserve currency. When these countries get in trouble, become cash strapped, the Federal Reserve steps up and lends them money for the short term, like a bridge, what they call a bridge loan. Where after it's over with, then they usually slowly hand the money back at their own rate. No, so in other words, no spikes. They try to remove the spikes. And they try to keep the stability. That's pretty much what it comes down to, stability. That's what quantitative easing is all about, is stability. It just happened to get abused by the politicians, that's all. From there, what else can we say about the yen? You see that, and you can see that. So it's been a very interesting action there. And you can see it over here on J4X. There's the daily. It's down towards the bottom. Looks like it's trying to make a little turn here after this correction. We'll see what they do there, and we'll check out the weekly. And there's the weekly of it right there. You see it's still gliding down. So it's not, I mean, maybe they're playing with the top over here. They're playing with that top. And maybe it'll land somewhere in the center. That's what we really thought. We thought we'd see 135, 137, something like that. Where are we at now? We're at 138. So we're getting down to that area. That's where we thought when we went into the weekly sell. That's what we talked about here on the webinar and so forth. And it's doing its thing. As long as it stays in that weekly and we keep on finding new dailies, sells, usually they're pretty good trades. All right. From there, we slide over to the classic laboratory. In other words, the experiment lab of currency trading. We look at the Turkish lira. The Turkish lira has been an incredibly good educational tool to understand, central planning with a currency that floats. It is a good thing to watch. Unfortunately, the poor thing and the population have paid the price for it. Let's put it up over on here first. There is dollar Turkish lira right there, and that's the weekly. You can see some of the wild moves it has here. Poor thing has gone from, in a very short period of time, over just the last, what is that? Let's make this the whole page for a second, right there. You can see no more than 2018. We were looking at a $3 dollar Turkish lira. Now it's trading at 19. Okay. And that's back in 18. That's only 4 years ago. Almost 5 years ago, a little less than 5 years ago. What pain that brings to an economy is enormous. To have their currency just become so unstable that it just makes that massive move. And then let's get in the daily there, right there, and you can see the dailies. Just very saber-toothed, really choppy, because obviously money is trying to leave or has to try to get in, and when they try to buy it, there's no sellers. When they try to sell it, this is foreigners. When the foreigners try to sell it, there's no buyers. So foreigners try to come in to buy something, and there's no sellers to them, and the central bank can't accommodate them. So you get these crazy little spikes. In other words, they get way out of the range. Now let's put it up on Chicago Quant right there, which seems to be literally conflicting to a certain extent. Wow, look at how much this is tight. Oh, they did one yesterday. Look at that. So they got a spike. They pushed it up almost up to 19 again. But by the end of the day, somehow or another, the 24-hour period, they traded at 64. They closed it at 64. But somebody outside their country had to pay 85 for it. Because of the size or the quantity. The central bank just could not accommodate. And no bank around could accommodate. And that's why you see these odd spikes there. We're in a second week of a weekly sell right there. We fell into the weekly sell last week, which was a real surprise. We had gone 42 weeks in a weekly buy, and now we are in a weekly sell. And do I have any confidence that that will mean anything? Not really. I think that the pressure will be on more, for this product. I think we do pink, don't we? I think we do pink, like that, on the weekly. There it is. And so, I mean, what can you say? It's a very illiquid product. It's not a place anybody should try to trade in. And no matter as much as we watch it and have been very accurate with it, you can see here it's getting to a point now where the accuracy is even falling into challenge. We went into a daily sell here from another wild spike, and maybe it went down and goes back up, but it's very liquid now. It's not anywhere near the product that it used to be. Way before, as it was going through this capitulation. It's just really bad there. Now let's jump over to the more stable pairs trade of the Turkish lira, and that is the Euro Turkish lira. You can see there that's much more. Now that slid into a sell yesterday. That's interesting. But it is higher today. And you can see the odd little spike that occurred yesterday from it also. Let's widen this out. You'll be able to see that. There it is right there. You can see that's just a dramatic move, and then some poor investor of some form trying to invest in Turkish lira had to pay up big to buy Turkish lira. And then what did they do to them? They closed it at the low of the day. That is what we call the cockroach hotel. That means you can get in, but you can't get out. It's an old TV commercial of a device that kills cockroaches. It walks in freely and can never leave and die. And that's pretty much what it is. You see the same thing on J4X. Big crazy spike right there. And that is the classic, laboratory type experiment observation. Watching the euro, a floating currency, a currency that floats, something we laugh at all the time about China. They don't even have a floating currency, so it's just fixed. Once a day they tell you where it's going to be. It probably, I wouldn't be surprised if Turkish lira trades half of what China does. In other words, China trades about 2.5% currency a day, and whereas the United States trades like 48% of the world's volume is the dollar. Something like 20 some odd percent of the world's volume every day is the euro, and only 2.5% of the world's volume is the Chinese yuan. It wouldn't surprise me if the Euro Turkish lira could be literally like 1 or 1.5% a day. I'll have to try to look that up. And so it really tells you about who is participating in these markets and where not to trade at the same time. All right, remember, we trade to make money. We don't trade to trade. All right, from there we slide over to one of the currencies that matches up normally to oil. And as you can see here, it's lifting up. And we had a real shift yesterday in oil. But CAD's been in a buy for 3 days now. You can see we're in a weekly sell there. See that right there. Let's put it up on J4X. We'll do? We'll throw oil up there real quick just to get a flavor of what's going on. There's light sweet crude, and that's the daily. You can see it's lifting up, and it came off those lows yesterday. You would have thought that top here would have, they would have closed at the low yesterday in Canadian, but it's not doing that right now. So it's usually sometimes it can be a lagger, sometimes it only correlates about 70 some odd percent of the time. And let's put it up over here real quick. We'll show you the oil market. And there's the oil market. You see they drove it down yesterday from Friday's number. They played the lows, and then by the end of the day they found a way to bring it up. And then today we are now flirting with the daily buy. And our weekly signals, which has been in a weekly sell since the 90 area, it fell all the way down to the 75 area. And now we're starting to put a little base in. You can see the little blue dashed line trying to lift. We see the histogram trapped in between this manifold, Let's make the manifold a little bit larger for you. And you see there, it's trying to get back up above it, but the green line's not getting above it. We need this to start turning up to really give us a signal that there's strength coming back into the oil market. And from there, everybody hear me still? Say hello again, Robin. I just want to make sure everybody hears me still. I know you would text me if I didn't, but I get paranoid like that when I don't see the tape moving anymore. Nobody asking questions. Let me just check. Yep, I can hear me too. So okay, I'm fine. I feel comfortable. I guess no one has anything to say at the moment. From there, we'll go over to what was it? Oh yes, we're looking at. Let's look at gold and the South African rand. That works. That is like locked 99% all the time, locked together. Good. Thank you, Robin. Yesterday, when gold was up, we found that the South African rand. Let's put that up on the screen also. Right there. The ZAR. And then let's put the South African rand up on J4X there, the daily. And you can see the South African rand was moving up yesterday, and I said, do not, trust that action. Watch out for gold on the downside. And what did they do to gold? I said, watch into the afternoon. They'll probably sell it down, and they did. They socked it down, and there it is. And we were up, and we were, looking very firm. And then you can see today we are lifting up, and what is the South African rand doing? It is doing just what it's supposed to do. Right there, you can see it. It is heading down and almost making new lows. And so, in other words, when this goes down, gold goes up. That's exactly what goes on there. And in this case here, you can see they, gold was going up and South African rand was going down, and then they pressed on it right here the last few days and started taking the rand. And gold started lifting up. With this gold going down, we go back to the South African rand, and it was going sideways up. It was fighting constantly to stay up. And then now they start to drive it down, and sure enough, gold finds a way to go up over those same days. And then that little trick play yesterday, we saw that South African rand selling down. I was like, they'll find a way to turn this gold minus, and sure enough, they did. And I thought it would be like hours later, and it was. So, and I have been flipping gold lately too in the intraday market. Anyhow, you can see here today it's acting very firm, and of course South African rand is making its little dash down to the lows right there. Right there. And then over on J4X doing the same exact thing, making a break and heading south again. And this, boy, I'll tell you, if this line gets through there and we start seeing that, I mean, gold might make that little dash more up, which we're in the weekly buy, in gold, and we're in the weekly buy in silver, and we're in the weekly buy in platinum and in copper. So, obviously they're buying them going into the end of the year. We'll see how they go. All right, from there we jump over to the Mexican peso right there, and it's making those new lows, which is I find that to be a bullish sign for America. When I see the peso drop like that against the dollar, in other words, it's gaining against the dollar, it says to me that we're going to see some more responsible government again here. Because you could see the way the peso ran when Mr. Biden got in charge, it just freaked it out, and took it way up. So, it lost money against the dollar. But now we're seeing this. I feel this is the warning sign that things are going to get better economically, which, again, why the stock market is holding relatively firm. Dollar is falling off the top of that mountain that it's built, giving us all a good sign that the pressure is moving in the right direction. as we take another sip of our tea. All right, from there, we slide over to the metals complex. Right there. Let's check out Mr. and Mrs. Silver. Silver did the same thing yesterday. It took a punch to the point where it got into a daily sell. And you can see it's trying to lift up today. It's up. And you can see the weekly doesn't care. Weekly don't care. It's just staying strong. That's it. It don't care. It doesn't care. It's not going to sell. Right now it says it wants to go up, not down. And just like the way the gold is. Gold don't care. It's like roaring along on the weekly. It's not backing off. So there's probably, I do believe there's way more action for the upside. Let's see. Copper. Copper is the manifestation of China, and that's why that weakness there and this movement here was where Xi got his new job. Let's go over to J4X. We're skipping that a little bit. And let me just show you the silver real quick. There you go. And that's the daily. It's trying to break down a little bit, and then here's the weekly to it. Silver don't care. See that? Strong. Just strong. Just refuses to break down. Now let's throw copper up on there. Right there. And copper on the weekly is backing off now just a little bit. It's giving us some reds, and the green line has busted. There's a little pressure there at the moment on the J4X. This is rare to see the two march separately so much, but they're doing it at the moment. I guess you could say is that J4X picked up the slide. Where's it at? There, it caught the slide going on, but unfortunately, we've been holding up. Our weekly keeps on saying, "Don't get rid of it." I don't know. There's these protests and everything else going on over in China, and then Liu in prison, the billionaire. There's a lot of maybe there's change coming and we don't realize it. Sometimes when you have the media only singing one song. Matter of fact, we're kind of surprised in many ways of the Chinese firewall where it's getting through. We're seeing all the action. I understand that they're pouring porn, sexual porn stuff into the media to try to block the news that's coming out. So in other words, they can't stop it, so they're saturating the news with incredible amount of porn, which is really weird. But anyway, that's, I guess, sex and politics. I don't know. I guess that's what that's all about. But anyway, there's the copper. It's trying, and it's it's trying to. Now, what is that all about? Something's wrong there, because we don't have lines in there. So we're gonna have to double check this tomorrow. Tune in. We'll check out why the copper has those lines there all of a sudden, and we don't have the daily buy signal on there. Let me do this real quick. I'm gonna just double check the exchange. Let me do that just to confirm what I'm mumbling. Where is it at? There's the exchange. And let me open up the copper contract and see if it matches up to that. Copper. And we're looking at what? DEC. Yeah, so we got time to move. Oh, I see. We should be in March. We should be in March copper. That's what the problem is. The volume is dramatically lower. Let's do that. Let's put March in there. Oh, I guess we do this. We cancel that. Cancel. And move that out of the way so you can see it, what I'm doing. There we go. Let's put March in there. I'm sure it's all kinds of busted up, but we'll see. Let's put the March index product in there. Oh, we don't even have it. I thought it would have the March in there. I thought I'd loaded it in. HG. Look up. And H for March. March 3. There we are. And close. All right, now let's put that in there. Just put it into the daily, if nothing else, just to see what it looks like. Because the daily is our daily is very sensitive to it all, so it can be more accurate than when, and it doesn't need as much cleaning up a lot of times. Yeah, you can see there, March has not really, as much as their open interest is expanded, we're not seeing a lot of accurate data there. But it does notice that it's matched with the red and the daily sell here, and it's flirting with the daily buy today. And the weekly, the weekly is that's the December contract. So it's in a weekly buy, and oh, you know what's interesting? Look at that. The little blue dashed lines breaking down hard. So we'll have to check that out and readjust it all. But right now you can see the daily is definitely not that liquid. Let's see what we do here. We go like this. Put the December back in again. And again, we always relate to copper to China, so we think of it's like the eyes. Yeah, now it's straightened out better there. You see, we had a red, green yesterday. No, we had just had a red, so it couldn't get. It's through the zero line, and now it's trying to lift. And today, what's up? Okay, close. There we are, and we go like that. And so it's still not willing to go into the full sell. That's interesting. Very interesting. Let's see what it looks like on a week. There's the weekly. Yeah, so it's doing the same thing over here on J4X. It's trying to get into that sell. It's trying to break down, especially with all that weakness. And then there's the daily. They both match up. And look at that. You got your green starting to develop. You got the green line turning up. So you do see some of that strength trying to move into that sector. But I have volume. I have March copper with daily volume of 26,000 contracts, and I have December with 2,000 contracts. Open interest in December is 7,600 contracts. 7,600. I have on March, we have 96,000 open interest. So it's definitely getting that time where we should be in the March contract, but they're not really. I don't know what that issue is. Why see how where the December contract is still going up and down nicely every day. There's some real activity. Whereas when we went and looked at the March contract, it's barely budging. They're just not trading it very actively. We'll have to check into that. All right, traders. From there we drift over to the energy sector. See what's going on in the energy sector. And there's crude is, like I said, is fighting its way or holding up firm from yesterday's bounce into the buy. And there it is right there. Brent, you see the Brent is 85 now. We were at 82 yesterday, or 81 and change. We were looking at that. It's up almost $4 from its lows to the highs today. So that's pretty good. It's made a pretty interesting turn, that's for sure. Obviously, when you want to buy it, it's not good because it's expensive, but it has made its bounce. And you can see over here on Chicago Quant, we're in that weekly sell for the fourth week now. And over here on J4X, we're probably cruising along with the same issue, and that is weeks of selling. And there it is. You can see that. 3 full weeks of selling. Lots of pressure there. Now, what we like to do is we like to go over to natural gas, and we've seen it up into the $7 area now, right there. And the last 2 days have been relatively paused, and we're flirting with the weekly sell at the moment. That should be down there like that. There it is. I don't think we have a line in there. Let's put a line on it like that. There we are. You can see went into the weekly buy last week, and now it's flirting with the weekly sell because of this little slide that went on for the holiday. And then here's Monday and Tuesday of this week now. So it's let me just double check that from the exchange too, just to make sure those things are right. I've had to adjust a few things today, which really surprises me in many different ways. Yeah, it's that tight. It is that tight, except for we need to fix the low here. That needs to be fixed. That's much lower. It's down to, where's that low? Down to 6 and change. Yesterday's low was 692, almost 693, 6929, and they're not reflecting that. Let's see if we can fix it with just changing the feed. And we will find that out. Settings. Let's try it this way. Now, was that? That is close. And there is Monday. Actually, it seems missing. That's today. They're not showing yesterday. I found that happened to a lot of products this morning. I had to put them in. I was like, what? Why am I having to put this thing in? Let's see if this will straighten it out. No, it won't straighten it out. Okay, so let me do this. While we're here, and you'll be able to see, let's fix that. Right there. And let's put in yesterday's trade, which is really odd. Now, what the heck is that all about? There we are. There we are. And the answer to that is was it natural gas right there? This is January, right? Yep, January. And let's fix that and put it in there, and you'll be able to see where natural gas is. Let's see, add. Yeah, it's really odd. A lot of products were missing Monday's data. Go figure, huh? All right, let's put that in there, and then we'll see it pop up on the screen. And then and then there's there. That's the high yesterday was 738, and the low was 6.92, and then the settlement was 7196. Yeah, there we are. Now let's see how it looks. There we go. And then what is this? This is Comex Energy, right? No, NYMEX Energy. There it is. There we go. And that's better. There we are. So I didn't expect it to change anything too important, but I just thought it should be up there right. That's all. It's better to have it up there right than wrong. And that's right today, right there. So that's the pressure on natural gas. Now from natural gas, let's slide over to that Spanish company. That is the only way we can really tell what's going on in the European marketplace when it comes to natural gas, besides hearing the stories, But we're at least down, it's dropping. It's down to 26 lows now. And there's a very strong opinion that the House of Representatives in the next 4 weeks, when the Republicans take over 5 weeks from now, they are going to start pushing natural gas to Europe at our prices. You can see here, this is what they're trading, $26 a cubic foot, or $26 euros a cubic foot. Okay, and in the States, we're paying around $7 a cubic foot. So that would help out Europe dramatically. You can see that right there. I mean, we've bounced up from the low fives. Matter of fact, it looked like it dipped underneath the fives even, and we're up at the low sevens. So I mean, that's 4 times. 4 times 7 is 28, and here we have the Spanish natural gas company trading at $26. It was $27 2 days. It was Friday. It was $27. So let me find it again. There it is, right there. Yeah, 26, and we were looked at. Yeah, I don't think it was yesterday. I think it was 26.80 yesterday, or 26.70, and now we're at 26.15. Like to see this thing get back down to the 22s. That would be really nice, and I'd love to see the thing fall into the 15s for Europe. This way they won't have the problem. I understand Poland right now is fighting with the European Union about the price overall. I guess because they're a member of the European Union, but they're not using the currency. The zloty is still alive and well, and a great currency at that. Now that Poland is the second largest industrial nation in the European Union, I guess they're having a little bit more say about things. So, all right, from there, that's the energy sector. we can take a quick look at some of the stock indices just real quick. Let's just give it a quick run around. There is the Tech 100 holding up in a daily buy, which is interesting. I don't know if that might be wrong. We need to check that out. That's what, Friday? That could be right. I don't know. Let's see. There's the holiday, the day before. Let's see if we can change this through the data feed and clean that up, because that looks wrong. Let's see what happens when I do that. Yeah, okay, so now it's flirting. I think it's flirting. What's that? Is that yesterday? That is yesterday. Okay, so they just missed going into the sell, whereas the S&P 500 had slid into the sell yesterday. Let's widen that out. Like that. And then the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Let's see where the Dow Jones Industrial Average is at. Right there. You see it also slid into a sell, and that's been really strong. I mean, this has been 6 weeks in a weekly buy compared to the rest of them. The old index really has 30 stocks in it, and they are the best of the best, and it's been showing a wonderful move from the 28 500 area to, or 650 area to, or no, that's 29 650. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, 28 684, and it ran up to 34, so it moved almost 5,000 points. It's a pretty good move. And let's just check out Bitcoin real quick, and then we'll say goodbye to everybody, unless someone wants to see something. If you want to see something, I'll throw it up on the screen before I split. And you can see Bitcoin really battling, trying to hold up. Fell into the sell yesterday, trying to get into the buy today, and the volatility indication. And you can see here we've been in weekly sell since, most of the slash and crush of action in, in fact, that's over to there. Since this big slam over that weekend, and then it just kept on sliding. But this thing seems to always calculate it throughout the whole weekend too. They're very active with the cryptos over the weekend. And then what did I want to show? Oh, I know what I wanted to show. Let's go look at Coinbase, the exchange. And it just shows you how the cryptos have been acting. There's the Coinbase. Coinbase, had read that problem, 6 weeks out. It was picking up that problem. And the daily went into a sell there. Pretty much at like the top end of the range. Let's tighten this up a little bit for you. You can see here the highs was the 80s of this particular time period of September, but up in the high 70s. And from that calamity, it went into a daily sell and sold all the way down to here with a weekly sell. It picked up that whole slam down to $44. It almost lost like, 46%? Lost 46%. It was a smash. And then it jumped into the buy there and didn't really go anywhere for a few days, and then back into the sell again there. This is Coinbase. I guess you could say it's a competitor to FTX, only it's better. Betterish. Let's fix that too. I don't know why R is in there. It should be exchange. So let's just go like this with a big E. Let's try that again with a big E. What in blazes? All right, let's push over one and space it. Where's the X? XC. How's that? There we go. Exchange. There we go. That's better. Let's save that. I don't see anybody saying I'd like to look at anything, so I guess we'll get out of here. This is Doc from North America, done rambling about his opinion about all these currencies and commodities and indices. We will see you, and interest rates, and we will see you tomorrow on Happy to Hump Day on Wednesday. So, happy trail to you until we meet again tomorrow. Happy trail to you, to all our trading friends. Later, later, traders.